I'm Kelli Russell. Welcome to Rapid Transformation Sessions. I'll be sharing tips and tools that help you navigate thoughts, emotions, relationships, and energy so you can enjoy being alive, as well as real unscripted sessions with people who want to experience a change in their lives. All sessions are shared with permission. Nothing here is performed or polished. Something happens in these sessions. Awareness deepens, perspectives shift, offering new possibilities, growth, expansion, and deep transformation, not just for the person in session, but for you. Let's begin. Discover your survival pattern, your stress response. When stuff hits the fan and you're in a triggered reaction, this is your go-to. And when that stops working, what is your underlying pattern that kicks in under that? And receive a bunch of neuro-somatic tools that will help you start rewiring that so you don't have to do the same thing you've always done. It's a quiz that I created just for you, and you'll find it in the show notes. Thank you for joining the Rapid Transformation podcast. Today I have Jamie with me. Hi, Jamie.
Hi.
And when I reached out and asked you what you wanted to work on today, you said you wanted to work on trusting myself and pushing beyond my limits so I can achieve the life I say I want and deserve. Could you give me maybe a couple paragraphs about this? So just a little bit of, usually there's a reason that you want this and it's the antithesis of that. So tell me a little bit more.
So I have lived with depression all my life. It's quite a roller coaster. I go for a period of time feeling really good and on my game and going after my goals, and then I hit a wall and I retreat to my bed and everything stops. And that's been the pattern. I get to the place where potentially if I take the next step, I'll be successful, but then I don't. And I always have believed that I have a fear of success. I do not have a fear of failure. I failed multiple times in my life. I'm an actor. All we do is fail.
Okay.
But I do believe that I have a fear of success, which is why I let my gremlin/ego stop me and keep me stuck.
Okay. What would you hypothesize your fear of success is about? Why would you be afraid to succeed?
Because then what? Then what's next? Then what happens after that? What if I get everything I want? They say, I mean, there is some truth to the saying, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
And what would be the worst part of that for you? If we went, what's underneath that? What's underneath that? If we followed the line to that deeper fear, okay, what if I got everything I want? What's next? Is it like, then I'm going to be bored? Or then I'm going to find out I climbed the top of the mountain, I achieved the greatest form of success, and I was depressed again. And I don't want that to be the pinnacle. Like, what is it?
That's so hard to say. I maybe would have to admit that I actually was deserving of everything I wanted and that I was worthy.
What's so bad about that?
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. There's just some fear about pushing beyond. And maybe part of it is that I can no longer make excuses anymore. I can no longer be a victim.
Why can't you? You know too much? You've come too
If
far?
if I say, I tried and I didn't make it, well, at least I tried. Yeah, but I don't think I know what the fear is behind that.
And why do you say I can no longer be a victim?
Oh God, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know.
My daughter says, I don't know, in the same tone that you just said it when she doesn't want to go there.
Yeah, I know, and I know that too. Like I said, I've done so much personal development. I know all the
Yeah.
sayings and the things, and it's like, well, what if you did know? Okay, what if I did know? Um,
Well, I'm wondering, it's just like you're too awake and aware now. You see the patterns, you know the patterns, you're like, yeah, so I can't
I'm
go
too
backwards.
self-aware. I'm too
That's
self-aware.
that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
I'm too self-aware. Like
Yeah.
I'm so self-aware, it's painful.
It becomes like ignorance is bliss, but we can't go
Right.
backwards. Yeah,
Yeah, like I would love to be ignorant.
I get that. Okay. What do you believe is your highest power?
Meaning what? Like
God, universe, source, Jesus, Buddha, Mother
universe.
Earth.
I call it God universe.
Okay. And what would it take to be worthy and deserving? Like, what would you need to do to fulfill that?
I don't know because I don't know where that comes from. I was never raised, I'm an only child. I was never raised in a hurtful, shameful environment. I was always told, you don't have to come home with A's as long as you did your best. We don't care. We love you. We support you. Um, there have been m many times in my life when I have given my parents total opportunity to just kick me out and say, we're done with you. And they've stuck by me over and over and over. So it's not, so it's, there's no
Mhm.
childhood trauma. Um, I
Do you have any
do,
religious upbringing, like go to church or
I'm
anything?
Jewish, but it wasn't, I did the usual things. I went to temple on the important holidays and we had dinners and I was bat mitzvahed, but it was never, it was just a thing that we did. Um, it
Is
was,
there a belief that you must earn worth?
no,
Okay.
no. Um, I do believe there is something to this fact. When my mother was pregnant with me, my parents were separated and eventually divorced when I was born, and they got remarried when I was 5. And I am fully convinced that I experienced trauma in the womb, and I really believe that that's where all my crap comes from. Um, I don't necessarily know how to make sense of it or
Mhm.
how to resolve it and move past it, but I do believe that that has contributed to like the angst that I go through
Okay.
in my life.
I can
Um,
check for that too. I'm trained in something called emotion code therapy, where we can look for in utero trapped emotions and do a little emotional energy clearing around that. So while I have you doing a process, I can do that and check. So that's where my crap comes from, is what you believe is like trauma in the womb.
and my father, depression runs in my family. My father went through depression. My uncle went through depression. My and I believe that I've gotten my limiting beliefs from my father. Um, he's brilliant and smart and funny. Um, but he never graduated college, so he never felt like a successful person. Um, and he doesn't think he can do things. I mean, he's 86, so it's not like he's going to go out there and accomplish something new. But and he's a great man, but he's just was always felt like a failure. And I think maybe I took some of that on.
Through modeling, just osmosis.
Yeah.
If you could learn from your dad's life, what would you do differently with yours?
Well, I already have in a lot of ways. Like I said, I'm a personal development junkie and I've done
Mhm.
seminars and read books and done all of that. I've been through therapy. Um, as far as my health goes, I am super holistic and I subscribe to non-mainstream forms of therapy, eating, working out. I'm very different from them in a lot of ways. I mean, they love me to death, but they look at me like I have 3 heads sometimes. Like, who are you?
And what does success mean to you? How will you know when you've succeeded?
Well, I've always equated success with money, which I know that that's not the case. And I don't recognize or applaud my own successes. So, for example, like I've been an actor for my whole life. I've never, quote unquote, like made it to the point where I think I should be. I just turned 57 and I'm just really hating that because I'm not where I thought I would be at this point in my life. And um but I'm primarily a film and television actor. But my background is in theater. I got my degree in theater, and we have the La Jolla Playhouse here, which is a world-renowned theater.
Hmm.
Um, and I spent years trying to break into theater here just for something to do. And several months ago, I auditioned for them to be an understudy for an upcoming play they have in September. Not only did I get a call back, I booked three understudy roles.
I just got
So
chills. Congratulations. That's
I
huge.
just I just started my homework. I
That's
hired a
huge.
coach,
Yes.
a great theater coach, and I have 3 months, and I'm going to have these lines memorized because even though the script may change, even though things may change, I don't get the benefit of a rehearsal at all.
Oh my
I
gosh.
I basically show up at their first rehearsal in August, and then I go away for a month, and then I get a week of tech. And then I have to be there pretty much for all rehearsals and all performances, um, with the knowledge that I most likely 99.9% will never set foot on stage.
Okay.
I get my own few understudy rehearsals after the play is already opened, but I'm basically learning this in a vacuum.
Okay.
And talking about gifts from the universe, I tried to turn it down. Like it came easily after years and years and years. All of a sudden, I did the audition, I got the callback, I got the booking. And it will literally mean I may very well have to quit my waiter job. I've waited tables for 30 years, which is a whole nother story about myself that
Uh-huh.
I hate.
Okay.
Um, but either my boss is going to give me a 5 week vacation or I'm going to have to quit my job and look for a new job in October. Now the play is paying me more than I will make at my job.
Okay.
But I'm furiously saving up money for the next 3 months so that if I'm unemployed for 2 months, I have enough money. So I'm basically turning my life upside down for this opportunity where I may never even set foot on stage. But oh, my point was, I tried to turn it down. I sent them an email. I respectfully declined. Financially, I can't make it work. And she kept coming back at me, well, how can we make it work?
Amazing.
So I said, okay, the universe is clearly telling me you have to say yes. So
Hmm.
I've said yes. And despite have being in a depression for the last little bit here, I'm
Hmm.
moving forward. Like I said, I just started my homework. But I don't recognize that. Like both my coach, my theater coach and my acting coach have been like my one coach who's helping me get an agent said, do you realize how many agents would kill to have their clients be understudies at the La Jolla Playhouse?
Yeah.
And my theater coach said the same thing. He's like, they don't pick just anybody. I mean, they cast out of New York and Los Angeles, and like this is a huge thing. And
Amazing.
I don't recognize that. I'm not like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm not. And that's the thing with my successes. I'm like,
Hmm.
I feel like I've always felt like Job in my life. Like I've just been put upon, and God never gives me the big thing. Like He'll give me little wins here and there. Like here's this, here's that. You can win
Hmm.
$15 at the lottery, but I'm never going to let you win the $300 million lottery. I'm just never going to give you anything big. And
Hmm.
that's kind of how I feel
Okay.
throughout my life.
All right. We're going to start with an acu-emotional resonance point, and the one that I have selected for us is called Conception Vessel 6. It is also known as the Sea of Chi. It is for strength of will, vitality, resilience, enthusiasm, vigor, and mental energy. It's a deeply restorative point that works to gather, anchor, and rebuild core energy. It reconnects the body with a source of strength, especially when that strength has been drained or forgotten. Its effect is upward and activating, helping someone find the strength to re-engage with life and have the will to move forward. It is 2 fingers below the belly button along the midline of the body. So take 2 fingers underneath your navel at the bottom point of that. I'm going to have you apply pressure inward as if you're pushing a button. And you're going to imagine as if you're an acupressure practitioner standing outside of your body, that we're going clockwise with the pressure. As you look down, it'll appear as if you're rolling little tiny circles to the left, up and around to the left and back down, up and around to the left and back down. It's medium pressure, like 2.5 out of 5, and slow enough to feel nurturing rather than irritating. Now I'm going to have you close your eyes as we roll this point for about 1.5 minutes, and then we'll hold even steady pressure for about 1 minute. So a little bit more about this point. It's for willpower, vital energy, resilience, enthusiasm, even sexual energy. So watch out. Vigor, vigor, mental energy. It's like the core of the body that warms and stabilizes and fuels the system from the inside out. It's really good for you to use, and you can use it in the future when you feel like you've lost your center, when the will is weak, when the breath is shallow, or if life feels like something to survive rather than engage with. It collects what's been scattered and restores coherence, especially when one feels empty, disconnected from themselves, or unable to move forward. It supports the recovery of inner power. It is not a surface level boost. It is the slow, steady rebuilding, the quiet return of purpose, a reawakening of the will to act, to choose, and to live fully. It invites your strength to rise. Now hold steady, even pressure for about 1 minute and just notice any sensations in your body dropping into your body. Allow your breath to be full and in the lower lobes of your lungs. Okay, you can release that point now. The next thing we're going to do is a brain balancing activity. So the right hemisphere of the brain deals with creativity and emotion. The left side is logic, but the left side is also where we tend to over-mentalize, over-analyze, and go down rabbit holes. By doing a brain gym technique, it turns on both hemispheres of the brain, allowing us to see things in a different way that we didn't see before. If we're stuck in emotion, it pulls in logic. If we're over mentalizing, it pulls in a creative solution or balances your emotions around it. So you can do this lying down, standing up, sitting in a chair, wherever you're at. You will have make sure your legs are uncrossed and your arms start out like goal posts. You're going to lift one leg and tap the thigh with the opposite hand. And then arms return to goalposts. Lift the other leg, tap it with the opposite hand. Then we get into a rhythm like marching. Opposite hand, opposite thigh, opposite hand, opposite thigh. Keep your chin forward, just with your eyeballs. Look up into the right side of the space you're in, and I'll count us from 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going. This time look up and to the left. Everything else stays the same for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just pause in the middle. Let that settle for a couple rounds of regular breath. And the next thing we'll do is a slow, relaxed, nervous system calming breath while we also balance the brain. It stimulates the vagus nerve and it puts your body more in rest and restore. So you'll start with your right ankle over the left. If you're sitting cross-legged, or for anybody who's listening with us who would like to try it with us, you could put your right shin in front of the left as you're sitting crisscross, or right ankle over left if you're sitting in a chair. Arms out, shoulder height. Place right wrist over the left. Turn your thumbs down Interlace your fingers, place your hands in between your thighs. Sit up nice and tall. Take a diaphragmatic breath. Allow the lower lobes of your lungs to expand. Open mouth like you're fogging up a window. Make a ha sound, H-A. And I have noise canceling headphones, so for those listening, you won't be able to hear it, but it is an audible breath. So take an inhale. Open mouth, let it go. Again, inhale fully. Exhale it out. Breathing in and breathing out. Switching only the arms. Uncross and recross with left wrist on top this time. Interlace your fingers, hands in between the thighs once more. 4 breaths. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Fill up like a balloon and let that balloon deflate. Breathing in and breathing out. Deep in, deep out. Now we're going to repeat all that, this time with left ankle over the right. Or if you're sitting crisscross, left shin bone in front of the right. So we'll just start with left wrist on top, left ankle on top. 4 breaths right here. Inhale. Open mouth. Breathing in and letting go. Deep in, release. Inhale fully and let it out. Now switching the crossing of the arms, right wrist on top, last 4 breaths. Take a big belly breath and let it go. Breathing in, breathing out. Deep in, full out. Last one, best one. Inhale, inhale, inhale all the way to the very, 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 very top. And then open mouth, exhale, exhale, every last bit out. Keep going, keep going, keep going until it sounds and feels funny like a balloon deflating. Then allow your breath to normalize. Stay in this cross-body position as we set our intention. So I'll start that we put our highest self, our wisdom self, our superconscious in charge. Those are all synonyms, as well as God, universe. Everything we do is for your best and highest overall good, to get the most enjoyment and the most fulfillment out of life. And we ask to create powerful, positive, noticeable changes that are easily assimilated with grace. And we'll add gratitude. It's a high frequency emotion. I am so grateful and thankful that we can be here together. If you would like to out loud or silently create your own prayer or intention, go ahead and do that now, Jamie. And then once it feels complete, keep your eyes closed and say, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so close your eyes. You and I are opening up a metaphysical pocket of space, like a liminal space, which would translate to a space between two things, like a hallway between two rooms, or our very own quantum field in which we can view your life, your experiences, your relationships from a more panned out perspective and a more cosmic and timeless lens. And in this way, we may be able to see things that were previously unseen, hear the unheard, know the unknowable, love the unloved, perhaps even forgive the unforgivable, to let go of all the things that block us or cause us pain. We are suspended in the spaciousness that allows our higher wisdom to come in, showing us new possibilities that allow us to move into the next layer of expansion, growth, and deep transformation. Let's also claim this now that in the quantum realm, we don't have to wait for months or years. It's as simple as updating the operating system, pressing the save button on that new response, and stepping into the lifeline in which it is already occurring. And we know this is possible. So go ahead and open your eyes, uncross your body, roll out your wrists. If you would like to take a sip of water, go ahead. I'm going to. Okay. So I'm going to next have us do a process where we release stress. And it's stress about not feeling like you can have everything that you want, feeling like you're just shy of getting the big thing. Perhaps this came from your dad and watching him model this behavior of being brilliant and smart and funny, but being held back by depression, perhaps, or whatever his blocks were. So it's the ways in which you feel stuck in that. And we get to decide how you would rather feel instead. So would it feel optimistic, expansive, trusting, inevitability? Like, I know it's inevitable for me. If we were to transform that into something else, what would be one or two words that would be how you'd rather feel?
The certainty that what I want is on its way.
Okay.
Like, no doubt.
Okay.
Just the acceptance of, yes, it's on its way, and that's all there is to it.
Now, when I asked you what success is like, you said, well, it's money, but I know that, I shouldn't think of it that way. So when you're unclear, then universe is unclear. I
Yeah.
like the waitress analogy. Like universe has the pad of paper with the pen, the old school style, taking down an order. And if you're unclear, it's like, what do you want? You live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. You're getting these great jobs that other actors would kill for. Are you not pleased? You know what I mean?
Well,
So
I frequently am saying to God, like, I've been asking for what I want since I was 25. Where is it?
yeah. So what do you want?
I want to be a series regular on a
Hmm.
network television series.
Okay.
I want to be married to the love of my life, who is wealthy, not just wealthy as a quality, all the other qualities I want, but who is able to support me financially and I don't have to work anymore. Um, I know that.
Doesn't that cancel out your first goal?
Well, I know it. You know what? Not have to waitress anymore. Let's say I don't have to have a day job. I can just
Okay.
focus on my acting. Like I would love to be in, and I know that sounds shallow. And yes, I would never marry anybody for money. I would marry someone who was kind, caring, thoughtful, has integrity, worthy of my trust, all of that stuff. And it would be nice if I didn't have to support myself while I pursued my acting journey.
Mhm. And if first goal is met, series regular on a network TV series, that may be a day job,
That
right?
to me was always the perfect day job. That you're right.
Yeah.
That is
So
my day
let's
job. That's the day
yeah.
job I love. That's the job I want.
Yeah.
That's
So you're living in accordance to the job that you find the most fulfilling, that you love, and you also have a person who has all the attributes that make this person the love of your life. And um, you don't have to work if you don't want to. It's only if you want to, babe. And you're like, cool, I love my job. I love going to the TV job. This lights me up. I'm excited about it. So,
that's exactly it.
all right. All right. So certainty. Certainty is like, yeah, of course, that's meant for me.
Yeah, it's on the way. It's coming. It's right
Hmm.
there.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to have you sit. You're going to hyperfixate on the stressors. That is depression, watching my own father, not perhaps like rise to his potential, the ways in which I feel either blocked by the universe itself or by myself, that right when I reach the precipice, instead of like getting over the line, I just draw back. I slip into something. So I want you to fixate on that, like you're shining a spotlight of awareness on it or a magnifying glass. And as you do so, stress usually rises. You might feel heightened stress as you're thinking about it. After you go through that wave where it kind of mellows out, then I want you to look for more, kind of like looking under the rug for more dirt or pulling open the mental filing cabinet. It's a little bit like having a pity party for yourself, where you're like, yeah, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And, all those blocks that you're ready to be free of, but they're centered around what you and I discussed, around this issue. You may go through several waves where you feel stress getting a little higher. And then after a while, you are not going to be able to find the electricity around it, the energy around it. The mental or emotional fodder will just level out. And then at that point, you're going to wait, kind of like a meditation that tells you you've shifted to certainty, like a mini epiphany. And then I'll be able to guide you through based on what you say. Okay, so close your eyes, and then I will ask for energetic permission, by the way, to see if I can do an emotional energy clearing to see if there's any in utero stuff. I'll let you know what I find later. You're just going to fixate on it until you experience a shift to certainty. Then say, okay. And just stay with that. Look right at it. Whatever's there, let it be. And let it move through you like a wave. It'll come up. Just stay with it. Jamie, keep your eyes closed. What are you noticing now?
There's just a piece in my chest that just doesn't want to let go. Like the rest of my body is feeling relaxed,
Yeah.
but there's just a piece in my chest and my back is really tense. So like I want to let go. Jamie wants to let go. Jamie wants to
Yeah.
have that certainty that what I want is right around the corner. But just like the rest of my body just does not want to
Yeah.
cooperate.
Okay, so we're going to ask your highest self, wisdom self, super conscious, talking to that part that's still stuck. Just say like, okay, what is this? What is this? And then see if an answer comes to you, that stuck thing. Talk to that feeling as if it's its own thing and say, like, what are you? Like, what are you called?
If I release and let go, I won't need my gremlin anymore. And he's afraid of that.
What does your gremlin do for you?
He keeps me stuck.
There's another purpose too.
He keeps me safe.
Yeah.
Because if I stay in the box, I'm safe.
Okay. And what would happen if you went out of the box and were unsafe? What would happen?
Well, he would give me ADD, which he does, or he'll make me tired and want to push everything
Mhm.
aside that I'm doing and take a nap, which he was really trying to do that today, and I didn't let him.
Okay. Well, deeper than that, like what is if you expose yourself outside of the box, what happens? You're going to die, you're going to be killed, people are going to talk bad things about you. What would happen if you stepped out of the box and it was unsafe? Then what's the thing that could happen?
I could get hurt.
So you've been hurt before.
Yep.
You've probably been hurt pretty deeply. Most people have. We all, it's all relative, but we all have our own wounds. So you're in some ways you're probably a battle-worn warrior of sorts.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I might get hurt. So what? Been hurt before. And let's push a little more. And then what?
Well, I might be alone, but I pretty much already feel alone anyway, so that's not anything different.
So that's like, well, that's not new.
That's not new.
What else?
I don't feel like I would die. That's not there.
Okay. Like, what if I totally show people what's in there and then they don't like it?
Maybe they don't like me. Maybe I
Okay.
won't be liked.
We're not for everyone,
Maybe people will speak negatively about me.
for sure. Because there will be lovers and haters and in-betweeners that are meh always, especially as you gain more attention. There will be all three. There'll be some that like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And someone will be like, ah, I hated it and I hated that the way she did that. And some are like, she's all right. Always it will be like that. So again, I'll push back with so they're going to be not everyone is your cup of tea, right?
Yeah.
Not all actors either.
I mean, none of it matters.
Yeah. That matters what wants to be expressed and come out of you to share. And there will be some people that resonate with that.
I mean, there really is nothing bad if I step out of my comfort zone. There's nothing bad.
If I were to ask that gremlin part, when it started taking on this role of protection, because really it's trying to help keep you safe. It's not trying to hurt you.
I know.
When did it feel like it needed to come and start protecting you? If there were a time back in your past, maybe even when you were a little girl or a teenager or a young woman, like when did this part say, like, I'm gonna have to protect this girl?
The one memory that just comes to mind is when I was 9 and we had just moved here, and my parents had gotten into an argument, and my mother actually stormed out of the house. My mother was very passive and very weak, and I walked all over her as a kid, and for her to actually walk out of the house was a shock. And I remember my father sitting on the couch. I think he just got out of the shower. He was just wearing like a wraparound thing. And he was sitting on the couch, and it was like you could see the steam coming out of his ears. And I remember it started raining, and I went outside to get the laundry because I something like about something around being a good girl, because maybe if I was a good girl, that they wouldn't get divorced again. So there's something around being a perfectionist and getting things right.
Okay. For your physical body, Jamie, right now, bring your hands down into your lap and you can just roll your wrists and place your hands on your thighs, palms down. And I'd like you to meet that little girl, age 9, out in the laundry room, or is there a front porch out in the rain where you could talk to her for a couple minutes?
In the backyard, that's where the laundry was.
Is there a place where you could have an overhang where you wouldn't get too wet?
I don't remember.
Okay. Was
It
there
wasn't
was
raining hard, it was just drizzling.
okay. Was there an overhang or anything, or like was it in a shed or was it exposed out
No, it was
in
out on the I was out on the concrete.
on the
I mean,
concrete?
I
Okay.
could probably I think the screen door was off the kitchen, so I could probably talk to her in the kitchen.
Or her bedroom. Or maybe you could both don't mind getting a little drizzle. What do you think would be the best? What place?
I feel like the kitchen.
Okay. And is there a table you can sit down at?
Mm.
Okay. As well as you can, see her the way she may have dressed at age 9, the way her hair was done, her cute little face and her eyes, and tell her in a way that she can understand what is really going on. Because sometimes there's a misunderstanding that needs to be cleared up. And say it out loud. What does she need to know? But say it in, at a way that's her level, age 9.
Jamie, you are loved, you are protected, and you are safe. You don't have to be afraid of life. You have no idea how strong you are and how tenacious you are. I
She
love
may she may push back and say, "What do you mean I'm protected and safe? Mom just left and dad's so angry. What do you mean I'm safe?"
Mom and dad love you so much, and they would never let anything happen to you. This will pass. everything will pass. All the things that you think are bad, they will end. They're not permanent, they're not forever. They're just temporary.
Does she believe you?
I don't think so.
Why not?
God, my chest hurts again.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Just be with that. She doesn't believe you. So how can you help her understand? What does she need to know about mom and dad? Besides that they love her.
They love each other.
She
They
might
love,
say, it doesn't seem like it.
no, it doesn't seem like it, but you'll know because I've seen them and they love each other and they are growing old together happily. And there'll be some difficult times because daddy's has some anger stuff. Um, that gets better as he gets older. And their mutual love for you is part of what holds them together. You're strong because they're strong. You got that from them.
What does she need to know to get from where she's at to where you're at now, as far as that understanding? What does she need to know about herself?
You deserve great things. You are worthy. You're worthy and deserving of having great things in your life. I don't know why we haven't felt that way. And we do. We are worthy. We are deserving.
I'd like you to give her a little trinket, a little gift to help her remember that. So it could be a piece of jewelry or a little keychain or a little object she can have. What would you like to give her?
I'm going to give her um, an emotional chicken.
What,
My
what's
mother,
that?
my mother knits emotional support chickens. My mother is a knitter, and there's an entire row of chickens that sit on the credenza in the hallway, and she gives them to people just when you need some emotional support. Here's your chicken. So I'm giving her an emotional support chicken.
How does she look at it? Does she look surprised or does she smile? What's she do
She
with that?
smiles. She
Okay,
hugs it.
tell her what she's supposed to do with that.
When you are feeling lost or sad or scared, I want you to pick up your chicken and just hold it.
Okay. Now, in the kitchen, the um, the door opens from the backyard. And who walks in is your future self 5 years from today. And she has a glow about her. Her eyes are dancing and mischievous. Her skin is glowing. She's dressed really cool. Her body looks healthy and vibrant. And she just has this knowing, like cat that ate the canary look on her face. What's the first thing you notice about her?
She's confident and secure.
She shows you her hand and she's got the emotional support chicken and she goes, "Look, I still got it." She wants to give you a message that helps you get from where you are now to where she is with that confidence and security. What does she need you to know?
That you are worthy, that I am worthy, I am deserving, and everything I want is literally within arm's reach. I just have to reach out and grab it.
Is there
And
anything you want to ask her?
uh,
Want to
what's
ask her about the guy?
well, I want to ask her what it's like to have an Emmy on the shelf.
What does she say?
She's like, it's fucking amazing. Because I am an Emmy award-winning actress.
Mhm.
That's who I am.
Is there anything else that you want to ask her?
No, not that I could, nothing that comes to mind.
See if there's anything else she wants to tell you before you say goodbye. Say, do you have anything else to share with me that would support me along my journey?
Stop ignoring red flags when it comes to men, because there are men with green flags all over the place.
Okay. So for a moment, you're going to look back to your 9-year-old self and you're going to ask her where she wants to go right now. She might just want to stay there with the misty laundry and go in and fold the laundry. She might want to come with you and be with you. Or maybe she wants to go to her room or even some magical place. Like she could go to Disneyland or the park or the beach. Where does she want to go?
She wants to go to her room and lay down with her chicken.
Okay. All right. So tell her goodbye in whatever way feels appropriate, whether she would receive a hug or whatever she would like. And then turn to your future self and let her know that you'll be seeing her soon, but not too soon. And say goodbye to her in the way that feels appropriate. And does that feel complete, that part?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to check in with the gremlin. So we're going to see if we can find that gremlin that's been doing its best to help you stay safe because it's a big, scary world out there. And perhaps there is a different job that the gremlin could do. Like it could help you study lines, or it could help you look for red flags in men instead. Is there a different job that you could have it do?
Um, well, both of those for sure, but it's not around right now.
Okay. You want to see if it's hiding somewhere so we could ask it? Just be like, hey, do you want a different
Well,
job?
he's probably in the because I frequently tell him to go in the corner and have a cookie and lay down and take a
Okay.
nap and leave me alone.
Well, right now, let's see if he'll come out. Just say, okay, come on out. Come on out. I know you're just trying to help, but I might have a new job for you. unless it wants to go off to cookie land and do its own thing now. Just have a conversation. Say, hey, do you want a different job that might be a little bit better and more suited to my goals? And see what happens. What does it say? You getting anything?
Yeah, I'm having a conversation with him.
Okay, say it out loud. What's happening over there?
Okay, Gremlin, here's the deal. I know you're just trying to protect me. I know your intention is not to hurt me, and you unknowingly hurt me all the time. So we're going to do something different. I want you to help me feel at peace with what is and be happy with my life the way that it is and still be striving for more and also accept that this is where I'm at in life and it's okay and there's nothing wrong with it and I'm not less than because of the choices I've made and because of where I happen to be at the moment. And I want you to help me to be excited about writing email number 3 for the Agent Goals course and doing the line analyzation for this play. I want you to help me act on the next steps that I know that I need to take. Because if I don't have an agent, I'm not going to get the network auditions. And I know that I'm good enough because I've done them and I've gotten good feedback. So I want you to just hold my hand and encourage me to take the next steps. And once we take that step, then whatever the next step is. So just encourage me on our journey to being a series regular in the long-running network television episode with an Emmy on the shelf.
What about all the scary stuff out there?
We've been through a lot, you and I. We've been through some very harrowing experiences in our lives, and we're still here. We're still standing. We're healthy. We're living our life. So we can handle the scary shit. We just have to remember that when it happens, that we can handle it. And we don't have to let it take us down. We just take a deep breath and we move through it. And we know that eventually the bad stuff, the scary stuff is going to end because it's all temporary anyway.
And what does Gremlin say to all that? What's Gremlin doing?
He's thinking about it. He's munching on his cookies. He's thinking about it.
Considering.
He's considering.
All right. Say, I got a really important job for you. I need you to help me feel peace. I need you to hold my hand and actually do the opposite and motivate me to move forward. Give me a push forward. And I need you to be that strong supporter that helps give me that little push. Do you think you can handle that? And see what the gremlin says.
Gremlin, despite what you think, going out of our comfort zone is not a bad thing. It's a really good thing because life begins at the end of our comfort zone. So I need you to hold my hand and I need you to work with me and not against me. I need you to be my partner. Can you do that?
What is the look Gremlin's giving you?
I think he's saying yes.
Say, I'm going to need a cookie smeared handshake. And put your hand out and see if you get one, because we're going to shake on it and pinky swear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no more hiding in the corner. I need you up front helping me with lines and helping me send those emails.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So we're going to take some deep breaths. Just keep your eyes closed. We're going to take a deep breath for the sweet gremlin that was doing its best to keep you safe. Thank you, gremlin, and I'm so glad that you have a new role. I'm so grateful and thankful for what we're going to do together. This is going to be a wild ride, and I'm so glad to be stepping on this journey. And we'll take a deep breath and let it go. And then for your sweet little girl self, we'll grab the laundry in the mist, giving her the gift of worth. She is worthy beyond measure, valuable beyond belief. That is the core of everything from here on out. And take a deep breath for her and let it go. And for your badass future self, that Emmy, and that twinkle in her eye, and that confident posture. And take a deep breath for her. And gratitude, let it out. And one for you, right here in this present moment, in the beautiful space in between the past and the future. As you said, it's an additive thing. It's a yes and, not an either or. To have gratitude in the beauty of this present moment and continually evolve, expand into the next iteration. Just like improv. Yes and. So right where you are in this moment, we give thanks. Open up and expand your chest and relax your back, relax your shoulders. Finding new space, new openness. Stepping beyond the wall into an expanded place that may feel a little bit exposed, and that is okay. So what? This is what I'm doing now. And take a deep breath and let it go. And when you feel ready, just look down and just take in the textures and the colors that you see. And just start scanning the room a little bit, coming back to this time and place. And we're going to shake your arms out by your sides, up high, like you're flinging off water, and then out to the sides, and then down low. And then up high, and out to the sides, and down low. Your doggy coming to join you in the activity. Okay. So just a few more minutes here as we close out our time together. I wanted to read this to you because I think this is what was happening with your dad, and this may have some of what was happening with you. When movement is repeatedly inhibited through blocked direction, interrupted desire or initiative, inability to act or move forward, or repeated inhibition of expression or choice, the system stops generating outward expressions such as anger, the emotional charge doesn't disappear, it loses propulsion. And that's when it can present as depression, heaviness, hopelessness, or what's the point? So, with certainty, you cannot wait. You must follow your excitement as far as you can, as thoroughly as you can. And for now, you must be the partner of your dreams. You must be that. Cultivate those qualities within you that you respect and admire. Like the type of guy or partner, I'm not assuming it's a man, the type of partner that you want. Like, would he want the person that I'm being? Are there qualities of self to cultivate so that you're being that match, that our energies find one another and they're at this quality of person that I want? So for now, you are being that. You're being that which you seek. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And taking your energy, your excitement, even if it's just a little bit, as far as you can take it, and knowing
Yeah,
that it's inevitable. So we're moving into an action step. And do you have a chicken to pick up and hold? Do you
I
have?
do.
Okay,
He's right here.
great. So that's there to support you when you forget, when you need a little bit nudge of encouragement. You've got Gremlin helping you, and you've got your emotional support chicken.
Yeah.
What are we going to give you as an action step that helps you recognize and applaud your success? And we might need to ask your 9-year-old self real quick, but what do you think that would look like?
Well, my action step when we get off this call is to have a snack and
Yeah.
to do the last part of my script analysis because I got parts 1 and 2 done before our call, and I'm going to finish part 3, and then I get to go to the gym, which is my other happy
Okay,
place.
those are all way too boring. Wah wah.
Oh
Those
my
suck.
God.
Those
Okay.
suck. Snack, script analysis, and gym. What are you going to do to recognize and applaud your success?
I don't know.
All right. We're going to let little girl who's in the room, 9-year-old self, we're going to go back and ask her real quick. So just let a little pop-up appear of her. Just close your eyes real quick and let a little pop-up show. Say, hey, sorry to bug you again. I need help coming up with a way to recognize when I do something really super awesome and I can't think of anything. What should I do? What does she say?
I don't know.
Let her tell you. You're asking 50-year-old self. We need
I
to ask
know.
her. Say, what do you think I should do? What would be fun?
Take the dog to Dog Beach.
And
I don't know.
go get a pup cup, go get an ice cream, go
Get a
like
cookie, go get a cookie or a donut, or let myself eat a donut. How about that? Let myself eat a donut.
Does she like that idea?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I don't
still
know. I
sounds
don't
kind of
know.
underwhelming.
Like for me, I don't know. Treating myself usually involves spending money on something.
What if it wasn't that? What does your little girl self like to do to celebrate? Like, does she ever dance around her bedroom or go outside and ride her bike or does she like balloons? Like, what is there something that she likes that she thinks would be cool? Underwear dance party with her favorite songs. Tell her you need a little help here. Say, picture her in her little outfit in her hair, 9 years old.
I don't remember what she used to do for fun.
All right. Ask her. Say, what would you like? What do you think would be a cool celebration? Let it come to you. Don't overthink it. It's more of a like letting it pop in. What do you think I should do that would be fun? Let it come from her.
I have no idea.
Okay, open your eyes. So, do you have a pen and paper nearby? Go
Yeah.
and grab it if needed. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some homework.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to write down action step. Every day for 5 minutes. Put my little girl self / 9-year-old self in charge and say, what do you want me to do to have fun? How should I celebrate? I would like you to do this for 2 weeks. So write down until June 17th. So in the morning, do you get up and have a cup of coffee or anything like that? So over coffee, grab your coffee, 5 minutes, journal. And sometimes, maybe for a few days, I don't know if a message is going to come. Do it more like you're channeling. Like it's not coming from you, this version of yourself right now. It's like you're asking her to move your finger on the paper with your pen. Like, hey, what do you want me to do to have fun and celebrate? You may get a different answer every single day. And write down whatever comes in, even if it's like crazy or outlandish or weird or doesn't quite make sense. Just let it flow. And then look over those on the 17th. Look over all the answers and see what you're noticing.
I just thought of one thing
What is
that
it?
I wanted to do. I want to go to an escape. Do you know what escape rooms are?
Uh-huh.
I've done a couple. I did them with my ex, and I really want to go do one. There's one in Encinitas, but I have nobody to go with.
Okay. Are you on any form of social media?
Of course.
You could reach out and say, hey, I really want to do this escape room. Any takers? Anyone else want to go? And if it's like a weird, shady person that you're like, oh, I don't know about this, you could always say, oh, I changed my mind. You know?
Okay, that's a
Or
thought.
or maybe somebody that's tied to the La Jolla Playhouse, they might want to go with you. Or maybe if you rack your brain and you think about it, there might be a couple people you could be like, hey, I know this is like, a wild idea. You want to go do this with me? And if not, you could always take yourself. You could call or whatever and just say, is it okay that I come by myself? I don't think you have to come with a large party or
Maybe it
group
has
in
to be two
particular.
people, but maybe I could go do it by myself.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And that would be a fun celebration. So I would like you to be tasked with celebrating your success. When there's something like this, like what you shared with me that gave you chills, okay, what am I going to do to celebrate? Because I want to inform my system that something freaking amazing just happened. And we're going to play on that and we're going to do something and we're going to show that that's super awesome and we want more. Yes, universe, give me more of those. Yes, please. So there's not a retraction, there's a moving forward. Yes, thank you. And I'll take more. All right. So I still want you to do the homework, 2
Okay.
weeks, and see what you
Okay.
get.
So I'm just journaling as
Mhm.
my
Just for 5 minutes.
as
You're just going to put a timer on your phone and
just
just be like, hey,
just how do I celebrate? How do I?
what do you want me to do to have fun? Question mark.
Okay.
How do you want me to celebrate?
Okay.
And some of the things you might be able to do right away. And it'll be more curious and interesting just to look over the span of it, 2 weeks looking back and just be like, what did I just see there? What's wanting to come out? What's wanting to come forth? If I allow that part of myself to flourish, what is wanting to be expressed?
Okay.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being our participant on this journey and
Thank
for
you.
sharing your experience. And I hope that those that listen also get something out of the experience. I know that it's a common thing for people to feel blocked by some unknown or known force, to feel like they are being held back by something. And if they can just get over the edge to the other side, there's so much waiting there. And just this experience, I think, will provide a lot for people to listen to, So thank you for sharing it.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been an absolute honor. And thank you so much. And everybody, thank you for listening.